Remind me after this, I got to get food in the crock pot. It should be doing it now, but we're doing this instead.
Domestic stuff. It's the Married with Channels podcast. Married couple talking TV shows and movies. My name is Moose.
I'm Jody.
I'm the husband.
I'm the wife.
We're married.
Yep.
And we love each other. And we watch TV shows.
And movies. And right now, here, it is spooky season.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a second. Just want to quickly touch on Ahsoka. We've watched the entire season.
Yeah, okay.
We've touched on this before, but we finished the entire season of Ahsoka, Star Wars show on Disney Plus. You know, I would just say it's okay.
I didn't like this one.
Yeah. So they set the bar really low with the Boba Fett show. And so it's almost intentional. I don't think it was, because you don't spend millions of dollars on a show so people can say, well, at least it wasn't as bad as blank. But it wasn't as bad as Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett. But it wasn't good. It was boring.
I feel different. I feel like Boba Fett was better than this one because it was
oh my God, you're so high right now. No. Change your opinion now.
No. This is my opinion.
I'll give you that.
I'm entitled to it.
I'll give you that.
I feel like that was better. I don't know.
That one, and you could go, we've covered the show. Gosh, I should have, I don't know. Go look through our catalog. We've done Boba Fett show.
Yes.
And I think the takeaway on that was it was good-ish. Could have been a lot better. The thing with the Sand People was interesting.
Yes.
They didn't go down that. They didn't dive into that. It had some really glaring, cheesy stuff.
Sure.
You know, the vivid colored kids with the robot arms on their little hover bikes. That was just horrible. And
yeah, the gang. Yeah.
But
the motorcycle gang.
Boba Fett was probably more entertaining than this one.
Absolutely.
Ahsoka was boring.
Oh, so flat and boring.
I mean, they're not all feckin' boring.
You're all feckin' boring.
But,
oh my God.
It was pretty damn boring, Ahsoka. And it really hit home for me. The episode where Ahsoka falls into the water and she seemingly drowns, dies, but she goes to the midworld or the whatever Jedi do. Not when it's before they die.
She went to the Stranger Things underworld.
Yeah, essentially. And she had her thing with Anakin.
Yes.
That whole episode was so boring.
Yes.
And it didn't set anything up. It didn't really bring anything new to the light with Ahsoka and her character.
And I'm sorry. I don't like Hayden Christensen. I just don't.
Nobody likes him.
Yeah, well, I really don't.
He's
This wasn't redeeming performance there either, you know?
People are starting to warm up to Hayden Christensen because it's like this warm B-movie character that's been part of their childhood.
Okay.
But yeah, he still sucks. But the bad guys were boring. Like even the blue bad guy, General Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
Every time he spoke, there was no. It's like, I'm going to be quiet to be sinister. But it's like you can change the pitch of your voice a little bit.
And like the mothers and the witch lady, they were just kind of eh.
And that Morgan chick who was kind of a disciple of the witch ladies.
Yeah.
Like she had the same scowl the whole series.
Yeah, the only thing that changed was her.
Like she smelled some fresh dog turd.
The only thing that changed was her cool hairstyles each time. So
I didn't even notice.
I was like, oh, that's a cool braid. Okay.
I wanted to like Ahsoka, but even there's so much really bad about the show. Like when we reviewed it, I think we were kind of at the level, and maybe not you so much, but I was like, it's okay. I'm liking it. But the more it went on, the more it's just. I was waiting for a good lightsaber fight scene. That didn't happen. They were all very stilted and boring.
I wasn't even invested in like the Ezra story. I mean, I don't know. And then you have, I forget the character's name. It's the chick from Fargo, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Her character was kind of boring. I didn't know that
she's really good too. This just didn't fit. I don't know.
And I usually like her.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know it was her. You know, makeup and all that can be to blame here.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was her until about 3 episodes in.
I also didn't understand the whole point of this show. Are they time traveling? Are they traveling super deep space? I don't understand why they couldn't get back. Why Ezra couldn't get back. I didn't understand that whole piece of that kind of space portal stuff.
And it was like it was a very long ways away. I think the equivalency to us is us going to Mars is where they had to go distance-wise to get Ezra and to find General Admiral Thrawn and the whole space whales thing. I'm like, come on. We can do better than that.
That was a really long scene. And, it was at first it was kind of cool. I was like, oh, cool. And then I was like, oh, they're doing a Nemo. They're going to ride along in the whale's mouth. It's just Nemo.
Yeah, it is. Very much is.
Yeah.
Or Pinocchio in the whale.
And you got the two characters like, this whale's either going to eat us or help us, And
who I thought was the only interesting character on that show?
What?
Was Hu Yang, that droid.
Yeah.
Who apparently has been with Jedi for millennia.
They had kind of peppered in some humor with him, I think. And that's kind of,
well, yeah, but I thought that was an interesting character that you could maybe do more with. Like
sure.
You could have episodes of him with Jedis over the years, or I don't know. Maybe that's a testament to how lame and boring the show is the goddamn droid who flies the ship is the most interesting character.
Sorry, everybody. We didn't like it.
And it's kind of testament to, like, the series coming out of Disney Plus in general. Like, I'm not interested in Loki 2. I thought Loki season 1 was interesting.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, can't wait for more.
Sure.
And we'll probably get to it. But
yeah, probably.
But Ahsoka, ugh.
Yeah.
Just sits there.
Yeah, I got very bored. I think not really paying attention towards the end,
I won't play the Banshees of Inisherin.
Please don't.
I lied.
You're all fucking boring.
Moving on to the more holiday themed, and by holiday I mean seasonal. I mean Halloween.
Spooky
stuff, and it's kind of they're both kind of under the banner of what the kids are watching, because it's these are movies we watch at the end of the day. We usually watch a movie. Finish a movie, it takes a few days to watch a movie.
With our tween.
And we cycle through the choices. And it came to my choice, and I picked Monster Squad.
Yeah.
From 1987, a movie that I adored as a kid.
I never saw this as a kid. I only saw it as an adult with you. So
yeah, I saw
thanks for sharing it.
I saw it when I was 10 or 11 living in Puerto Rico on the naval base. And it was just such a well done, so cool movie. Like, I love the old monsters.
Yeah.
And it incorporated kids and, very relatable at the time. I was these kids' age. Quite literally.
I was going to say, probably because you're like those kids' age.
But it was so well done. Like, it's well shot. It has its scary moments.
Sure.
It definitely has lots of humor.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the scene where, the Wolfman gets kicked in the nuts.
Kick him in the nuts! Kick him in the nuts! He doesn't have nuts! Do it! Wolfman's got nards! Come on!
Wolfman's got nards. And that's like, to a 10, 11-year-old, that's hilarious. That's even the title of the documentary they made about the movie.
Awesome.
Wolfman's got nards.
That's hilarious. It's cute. It's wholesome. It's, got its little jump scary moments,
Yeah.
It's a good one to watch with your kids. I mean, it's PG-13, so.
Yeah, written by Shane Black. I think everybody knows that name by now. He's done a ton of famous stuff. Lethal Weapon, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. But also directed by Fred Decker, his partner in crime. It's just a warm, charming, it's like one of those, it's like the Halloween movie equivalent of It's a Wonderful Life for Christmas.
Wow.
Me. Like,
okay.
I could see watching it every year just because it's so charming and wholesome, but also has all the bases covered as far as, entertainment.
Yeah, we'll see as we get through some more scary stuff if our teenager will allow that year after year after year.
You don't have to watch it. I can watch
you will be nostalgically like every year. Yeah. Let's watch this.
And Funny. It holds up. The movie holds up. It doesn't look dated to me. I mean, obviously it's filmed in 87. Obviously there's going to be old cars and no cell phones, but.
And sweaters and haircuts.
Yeah.
So,
but a lot of the stuff is relatable, kids with their pals, and they're, there's even a little subplot involving one of the kids' dads and moms having marital issues. And, I don't know.
And there's a cute little Phoebe kid, the little sister. Yeah. She's adorable.
And then the other kid's like, is she a virgin? So Monster Squad holds up. The other scary movie that we covered on the stuff with the kid, she or you picked Child's Play?
I picked it.
Okay.
She's getting into horror. She wants to watch all of them.
Yeah, we're kind of ramping up to more.
Yeah, we're just kind of slowly getting into it a little bit, seeing what she can tolerate, what she's okay with,
Yeah, what do you think the movie's going to be that she watches where she wakes us up at 2 a.m. saying she can't sleep because she thought she heard something?
I think it's going to be Halloween.
You think? The 78 version or the 2018 version?
The 78 version.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, that one was scary for me, but it's a scary character. Like anybody dressed up like that for Halloween, I'm just like, oh, it's so creepy and scary.
Maybe for me, it's just I never got the Michael Myers thing. It never really did anything for me.
Yeah.
Like I was definitely more of a Jason Voorhees guy.
Oh, that might do it for her too. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, is it going to be the scares or the gore?
The scares.
Or the monsters?
Well, I don't know.
What's going to do it for her as far as I'm having trouble sleeping?
I don't know. She tolerated what we're about to talk about pretty well. I think she'll do fine with like Freddy Krueger. I think she'll do fine,
Real quick, we'll get to Child's Play here in a second from 1988.
Yeah, you're going to mention what else we watched?
No. Oh. I just want to ask you.
Yeah.
What was that type of movie or that movie that scared you as a kid to where you couldn't sleep or you were constantly looking under the bed?
I didn't look under the bed. I would like imagine things in the corners or the closets,
Okay, but what was that movie?
But I don't know. I don't really recall watching a lot of horror movies.
Okay.
Like we really kind of weren't allowed to growing up. We didn't watch that kind of stuff until I got much older. But by the time I was older, it didn't bother me. Like,
okay.
I didn't have nightmares or anything like that. I will say, this is kind of embarrassing. When I was much, much older, I saw, and you can, say it was a crappy film, whatever. But I saw The Blair Witch Project when it came out in theaters. And I saw it out of town. So I was staying in a hotel room, which kind of always freaks me out anyway. I just,
oh, sure.
I just don't sleep well in a hotel at all.
It's a strange place.
It's a strange place.
Different bed.
Yeah. And
smells are different.
I don't know. I've never been super comfortable sleeping in a strange place like that. And so I watched that movie and then I remember like, kind of when you're like about to drift off to sleep, like seeing that dude standing in the corner of my hotel room. And so really, that's really the only movie that has affected me in that way. Okay. So,
and to your credit, that's like the only scary part of that movie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's like kind of, oh, what was that? The whole
yes, you're waiting.
Hours.
Like,
but then at the end, when they go down and the kids stand in the corner, like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Like, oh, God.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was much older. I wasn't a kid when I saw that. I was probably 19, know?
I think for me, it was, there's a couple things. I was allowed to watch scary movies.
Okay.
And I remember I was 10 or 11. Well, maybe even younger. I think I was younger, actually. Yeah, it was like 85. So it's like 7, 8 years old.
Okay.
Maybe. And, or 9. And it was Evil Dead 1.
Math hard.
Yeah. And there was a scene from the Twilight Zone movie. It's the very first scene. It's a short scene, but it scared the shit out of me. And I saw that scary face like a lot when I was trying to go to sleep.
You were allowed at that age to watch Evil Dead and wow.
You know, I think what it was is my dad was watching it.
Okay.
And it was the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of there.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't like stop it and go do something else, or turn the TV off.
Yeah. Okay.
But there was not a lot of, I was able to watch those things, but it wasn't like, hey, son, sit down. Let's watch this movie together. But anyway, that's what it did for me. Child's Play.
Yes.
Let's get to that movie.
Absolutely. These are kind of fun to rewatch. I haven't watched this for probably 30 years.
Same. I haven't watched it probably since soon after it came out on VHS.
Yeah, like renting videos with my friends or whatever. Yeah, let's talk about how old we are. We rented VHS tapes from a store, people.
Yeah. But Child's Play, does not hold up very well at all.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of big, like, what? Wait a minute type of moments. First of all, okay, you have to suspend a lot of belief here to watch this movie, because even if you possess a doll, it doesn't have the, the ligaments, the musculature.
Apparently it does.
To do anything.
And super big strength.
I know. Like, so what when you possess an inanimate object, all of a sudden it grows muscles inside?
It's really strong.
So
I don't know.
That. Okay, but I'm willing to just let that go. Okay, fine.
Maybe it takes on that person's spirit strength.
Maybe,
like,
I'm sure it's
he's not exactly a good dude, and maybe evil has made him stronger.
I feel like if I was at a Comic-Con and one of the people who made the movies on a panel,
we could totally nerd out about
I'd be the one, like, position number 8 in the line of questions by the question microphone. Yes. How does Chucky? He has no muscle,
Yeah.
So I'm willing to actually suspend disbelief there for that. Okay, let's go with that.
For the record, those kinds of people don't go to Comic-Cons. We go to Comic-Cons. People we know go to Comic-Con.
But so anyway. I'm willing to go with, okay, he can maneuver, lift. He has spirit muscles, whatever.
Okay, sure.
But then there's parts where, like, he's stabbing people with a plastic knife. He's plunging it through a door.
How did you
get... a solid core door.
Well, time out. How did you get that was a plastic knife?
Because it looked plastic. And they had the sticker on it. It had, like, the fake blood sticker on it. There's a couple scenes where they focused on the Chucky's arm walking while holding that knife. And it's
so where did he get the knife?
I think it came with because remember Andy the kid got for his birthday initially the my good buddy toolbox.
And a bloody knife comes in
I don't know.
That's where he got the hammer.
He got the hammer, but there was also some other thing. I'm assuming, I don't know. But it was a toy knife.
That's a nice kid's toy right there.
They never showed Chucky like pulling an actual knife out of the butcher block.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. I'm like, wait, how did you gather it was a plastic knife? But
yeah. So there's that. And the guy who plays the co-detective of Chris Sarandon, the main detective, Mike, I think.
Yeah, Mike.
That guy
his partner.
Sucked. That guy was horrible.
Yeah.
It almost seemed like they cast somebody who was like a lighting grip because the actors couldn't make it because of the flu. Okay, you get in there and you do it. I'm not an actor. Well, just do it. You got 5 lines. You're fine.
That's funny.
But I like the concept of Child's Play.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it was some things that weren't thought out.
Sure.
And there's some other things coming to mind that I'm kind of missing a beat on here. But those are my biggest gripes. What'd you think?
Yeah, it's not as I remember it. It's just kind of silly to watch now, and I don't know, like we weren't really scared by it either. I always kind of look over at her if she's getting kind of jump scared and stuff, but I don't think there was much of that. And then like she actually found the doll kind of cute in some like scenes, and I'm like, yeah, he kind of is. It's funny, and so yeah, I don't know. It's just not what it used to be when I saw it 30 years ago. So
I thought it was scarier when the kid would tell mom, Chucky told me this.
Yeah.
And then like you'd see the kid sitting with Chucky and it's like, ooh, is that doll talking to him now?
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy to me.
Yep.
But when Chucky comes to life, do I have the clip? I thought I pulled it. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Here's where he comes to life with the mom.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
Like, that when Chucky's alive, it's not scary.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the boogeyman has been revealed.
Yeah.
But wondering where and when the boogeyman will show himself is more scary to me.
Sure.
But this was funny because like, you stupid bitch.
It's a doll cussing. And it was just like, that's funny. I don't know. Yeah.
But I don't know.
And some of his facial expressions when he gets all crazy like that, like what they did with the doll, like his eyebrows and his hair and stuff. It's just funny to me.
And I found myself a little, not distracted, but snickering a little bit. Like you could tell when they put the Chucky costume on a little person actor.
Oh, funny.
To do like the stirring scenes.
Oh, yeah.
And when he puts the electroshock thing on the one doctor.
Yeah.
That's definitely like some little kid or a little person doing that. But
funny.
Child's Play, it's one of those movies I think that has endured, I should say, because the concept is so great.
Sure.
Like a sweet little child's toy turns into this evil murdering monster.
Because let's face it, we've all had those toys where we're like, ugh, this thing is awful. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And ever since Chucky, the movie, Child's Play, like anytime a Furby
Yeah.
is making a noise, when you turn that switch off, you're like,
Oh, God.
oh shit.
That's right.
Dead serial killers possess the Furby.
So I took batteries out of my Furby and it still talked like years later and I threw it away. I was like, nope. That thing is probably possessed.
No.
Nope, it's got to go.
I think realistically, it's like some phantom energy that got stored in the wires.
That's what you say, but I threw it away. Nope. Can't do it. No creepy dolls, no possessed ones, nothing. Sorry.
You stupid bitch!
Oh, look at that sweet little dog.
Moving on to a new documentary on Netflix called Who Killed Jill Dando? The backstory is Jill Dando was a very popular, they call them presenters in England, but news anchors, what we call them here.
For the BBC?
For the BBC, and just loved by millions of people in the UK.
Yes.
All of a sudden, one day, April 1999, I think it was, she was walking to open her door in her townhouse, and somebody walked up and shot her dead.
Yep.
And this documentary it's a short 3-episode documentary, goes into the crime. And, they had a suspect who was found guilty, but then later that guilty verdict was, reversed.
Yep.
He went free, and they still don't know who killed Jill Dando.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. And I don't recall hearing about this story. Like, I had no awareness of this person, as a personality when she was kind of at the height of her career. And I had no idea about this story that she had been murdered. So it was kind of neat to kind of, see another true crime documentary. And maybe this will help, bring up some clues. Maybe people will remember something or start talking. Maybe they can finally figure it out.
I would hope so. There was some other crime. Oh, Natalie Holloway.
Yeah.
They finally closed that.
Yeah.
Because that idiot admitted to bashing her head on the beach and tossing her body in the ocean. But anyway, maybe like you said, maybe something will happen now. Maybe they'll actually find the killer. And not to get too much into the details on the crime, but it seems like they really shit the bed when it came to the Serbian thing.
Yeah, like that really wasn't super flushed out and not followed up as a lead of a maybe. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost kind of like they got kind of zeroed in on this one individual and then nothing else was possible. It was just that eccentric, and don't get me wrong, this dude's kind of weird, but they kind of just like stuck to that.
But it's weird. It's, I don't know if it's bad policing or what, or if they had, a crime like this, very public. There's probably a lot of pressure at the time from their superiors. You need to close this. We need to find somebody, And
also, like,
but I think they maybe had got a little bit more like, we need to fill this block, check this box at all costs. And if you step back, like the defense lawyer for Barry pointed it out. It's like, if you shoot somebody up that close, you're going to get more than just a minute blood spatter inside your coat pocket.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
like, that makes sense. Why didn't they should have known that.
Yeah. Yeah. Forensic science evidence.
Even in 1999, the forensic science was there.
Yeah. I know. I feel like sometimes too, because it was high profile, not that it's an excuse for shoddy police work, but there is, limited resources. This is a famous person and they threw it out to the public and they're probably getting, hundreds of tips or leads or things a day. And he said he had 16 people on his team. Like, to field all of that, follow up on all of that, I don't know. But I think sometimes in these cases, they just kind of get fixated on this is our guy. It's got to be our guy. I don't know. I mean, I don't pretend to know what that job entails, but kind of like you said, usually you got to have some concrete evidence to even bring about charges for somebody, right? I mean... I
mean, I think the way it works is, the cops go investigate. and trying to get, find the evidence. And then they bring that evidence to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor says, I can't prosecute this. I need more evidence, Then they go back and try and find more, if there is more. But I feel like these investigators, like the Serbian thing made sense, That was the Bosnian War was very much the thing in the news. I remember hearing about it over here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's talk about Clinton sending aid over there or getting our troops involved, UN, peacekeepers, whatever.
Sure.
So it's and with volatility comes, a lot of frayed emotions and, feelings. And I could see somebody who's like a Serbian transplant in London being like, I'm not going to let the bitch talk about this, and kills her. I don't know. I just feel like the Serbian thing wasn't really pursued enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't exhausted enough, but.
Well,
like you said, they have limited, capacity.
I know, but the one guy who I think is he a crime reporter now, but he kind of used to live that life.
Oh yeah, he was in prison for a while.
Yeah, he, kind of said like there are rumors in the underworld of who did this. Maybe it was like an organized crime professional hit.
Yeah.
And they didn't really pursue that. And that makes sense because there's not a lot of clues. There's not a trail. The average person is not going to think through evidence, cameras, like this. This was very kind of clean and orchestrated. And
yeah, a couple of them said it looked like a professional hit.
Absolutely, because she had no one following her. No one would have known that she was at that apartment at that exact time. Like, unless they were kind of really good at following her and covering their tracks, or maybe they were, wiretapping or something, like all of that. And then, the lack of evidence on the person that they did try to convict. It's like, oh man, I don't know. I feel like maybe this was a clean professional hit and out,
That guy at the end who you mentioned, well, he's a character, isn't he?
Yeah.
They when they first showed him, he was sitting on that bench by the window. And it said his name, and it said investigative journalist.
Yes.
Then he started talking. The more he was talking, it's like, shit, this guy's been in prison a long time.
Yeah.
Good for him for finding a new career, but interesting.
Well, who better to write about crime than someone who's lived that life and knows people,
He had the best line, as you just mentioned, at the end. He said he's essentially said, I know who did it.
Yeah.
People in this world that I used to be in and kind of still am know who did it.
Yeah.
And they said, who, can you tell us? And he's like, no.
For his own safety, right?
Right.
Isn't that what he said?
To me, if I'm an investigator, if I'm that Hamish guy who was the lead investigator, I'm going to go contact that dude.
Right.
And I don't know. It just seems like, so they pinned it on a guy who's, like you said, weird.
Mm-hmm. Eccentric.
Yeah. I don't know if, intellectually, he seems fine, but maybe just socially awkward.
I think there's some maybe mental disorder there too, with like the hoarding and stuff.
Yeah, maybe. So it's easy to pin it on that guy.
Yeah, and he was weird about women, and he at one point in his life was interested in guns. So they were like, "Oh, this is our dude.
Yeah.
Look how weird he is, and look at the circumstantial evidence we have here." There wasn't anything really. And as a hoarder, you don't think they would have found something in his apartment that tied him to that? Like, he's not going to throw anything away.
No, all they had was headlines, newspapers of the Jill Dando stuff.
Yeah.
Her killing and before she was killed.
Yeah.
Like, he apparently had lots of pictures of chicks.
Yes.
Including Jill Dando. But no, it wasn't like this wall on the northwest part of the apartment was all Jill Dando.
Yeah, it wasn't like a shrine to her. Like, he'd been obsessing and thinking of ways to, hurt her. Yeah. It just felt
like he checked all the boxes for, okay, he probably did it. But I don't recall them saying that blood splatter that they found. It was one drop.
It was gun residue. It wasn't even blood splatter.
Was it gun residue?
It was gun residue.
Okay.
Yeah. Inside the pocket of his jacket, one drop. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, just.
You'd have a lot more on you if you shot someone at close range.
All I'm saying is, if I was murdered in London, I'd be worried about my case getting closed. Because this doesn't seem like good police work with the Jill Dando thing.
I feel like they kind of missed the mark here on a couple things.
And it's an investigation, not an inquiry.
It's so easy for people, though, to be armchair detectives here or keyboard detectives. You know, the internet sleuths will probably solve this soon with the awareness, maybe. But it's easy for us to sit there and do that. But when you're, you know, working an actual case, a homicide case that's high profile like that.
Well, it's high profile. And also you've got, like I said, superiors kind of barking at you.
Yeah.
You have limited resources. You know, I equate it to people say, you do a morning radio show, you just kick your feet up and talk about whatever, right? It's like, no,
totally.
Every job has its own bullshit going on behind the scenes that makes it harder to do your job.
Absolutely.
Whether it's radio, insurance, investigating murders.
Yes.
You know, nobody operates with an unlimited budget and unlimited resources to get their job done.
And nobody does it perfectly day after day after day after day after day.
But, and it might not be the lead investigator's fault. I feel like their department kind of dropped the ball.
Sure.
His superiors maybe didn't give him enough resources, time, whatever. I feel like a high profile case like that, you know, you got to get that solved within a year. Easy. But what do I know?
I don't know.
I know a lot of stuff. I'm so smart. Let's rock until we drop.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's shut her down, right?
All right. Yep.
That's a montage scene. By the way, every 80s movie, a montage scene.
I know, right?
That's going to do it for us on the Married with Channels podcast. Married couple checking out TV shows and movies. Make sure you join us for the next episode, which hopefully will drop next week or soon thereafter.
Happy spooky season.
Boo! Yeah, we should definitely get one out that has a little more scary movie.
More scary movies. Yeah. There are more to come. Yeah. So, you know.
All right, until next time, make sure you give us a good review and watch our episodes, listen to our episodes, all that stuff. Share.
Tell your friends.
Until then, next time, I'm Moose.
And I'm Jody.
We'll see ya.
Bye.